In a quiet village surrounded by golden savanna grass and tall baobab trees, there lived two sisters who were as different as the sun and the moon. The elder sister, Adana, had a heart as warm as the morning light. Her laughter was gentle, her hands were kind, and wherever she walked, peace followed. The younger sister, Zola, however, carried a storm inside her chest. Her beauty was sharp, her smile forced, and her heart burned with something she could never quench: jealousy. Though they shared the same mother, it was Adana whom the village loved. "She is blessed," the elders would say. "She is favored," whispered the women at the river. And every word of praise felt like a thorn in Zola's flesh. The mysterious blessing. One season, drought struck the land. Crops withered. Wells dried. Hunger crept into every hut. Their mother fell ill, and the sisters had no food left. One evening, Adana decided to walk deep into the forbidden forest to gather wild roots. The villagers feared that forest. They said spirits lived there, ancient watchers of human hearts. As Adana searched, she heard a faint cry. Behind a fallen tree lay an old woman, frail and trembling. "Please, water," the woman whispered. Adana did not hesitate. She gave the old woman the last of her water, even though her own throat burned with thirst. The old woman's eyes suddenly glowed like embers in the dark. "You have given when you had nothing," she said, standing tall. "Few hearts remain so pure." Before Adana could speak, the woman struck the ground with her staff. The earth trembled. From beneath the soil rose a small calabash filled with sparkling diamonds, bright as captured stars. "These are not for greed," the woman warned. "They will multiply only for a grateful heart. But if touched by jealousy, they will summon a curse." Then she vanished. Prosperity and poison. Adana returned home trembling. She told no one except her mother. They sold one diamond in a distant town. It was enough to buy food, medicine, and seed for planting. Each morning, when Adana opened the calabash, there were more diamonds. Never too many, never too few. Just enough. Their farm flourished again. Their mother healed. Their hut became sturdy. The village rejoiced at their restored fortune. But Zola noticed something strange. "How does she suddenly shine like this?" Zola muttered. "What secret does she hide?" One night, pretending to sleep, Zola watched Adana lift the calabash from beneath her mat. Zola's eyes widened. Diamonds. Dozens of them. Her breath quickened. "So this is the reason," she whispered. "She has been hiding wealth from me." That night, jealousy finished what envy had started. The theft. At midnight, when the moon was high and silent, Zola crept toward Adana's sleeping mat. Carefully, slowly, she slid the calabash from beneath it. The diamonds glowed softly, reflecting in her greedy eyes. "If they multiply for her," she whispered, "they will multiply even more for me." She ran from the hut and hid in an abandoned grain store at the edge of the village. Her heart pounded with excitement. She placed the calabash before her and waited. Morning came. She lifted the lid. More diamonds. Her lips curled into a triumphant smile. "I will be richer than chiefs," she declared. But something else stirred beneath the shine. A faint scratching sound. Zola froze. Scratch, scratch, scratch. The diamonds shifted. One moved. Another trembled. Then suddenly, squeak. A rat burst from the calabash. Zola screamed. Another rat leapt out. Then another. Within seconds, diamonds melted into fur and teeth. Rats poured out like flowing water. They flooded the grain store, swarming over her feet, climbing her dress, filling the air with shrill cries. She tried to run, but more rats blocked the door. The diamonds were gone. In their place, hundreds of rats. The reign of rats. The rats did not stop at the grain store. They spread into the village. From rooftops. From wells. From baskets. It was as if the sky itself rained rats. Children screamed. Farmers shouted. Pots shattered. The village turned into chaos. Crops were devoured, food destroyed, cloth shredded. And at the center of it all stood Zola, covered in dust and terror. "What have I done?" she cried. Adana rushed outside, horrified at the sight. She understood immediately. The warning. The curse. "Zola," she whispered. "What did you do?" Zola collapsed to her knees. "I only wanted what you had," she sobbed. "I was tired of being nothing." Adana's heart broke, but the damage was done. The rats kept coming. The return to the forest. Desperate, Adana ran back into the forbidden forest. She called into the wind. "Please. I need you. Forgive us." 4 hours she searched. Finally, near the fallen tree, the old woman appeared again. "You were warned," the spirit said. Adana fell to her knees. "I was not the one who touched them with jealousy," she pleaded. "But I take responsibility. She is my sister." The old woman studied her. "Even now you defend her." Adana's voice trembled. "Take the diamonds. Take everything. Just save the village." The spirit raised her staff. "The curse can only be lifted when jealousy is confessed before those it harmed." Confession before the village. Adana returned with the message. The rats now covered nearly every inch of the village. Zola stood on a table, trembling. Adana spoke loudly. "My sister must speak." Zola's face burned with shame. Before everyone, elders, children, neighbors, she fell to her knees. "I stole the diamonds," she cried. "I let jealousy poison my heart. I thought her blessing was my injustice. I was wrong." Tears streamed down her face. "I am sorry." Silence fell. Then something shifted in the air. The rats paused. One by one, they began to vanish, like dust carried by wind. Within minutes, the village was still. The grain store stood empty. The curse was broken. The final lesson. The next morning, the calabash was gone forever. No diamonds. No rats. Just ordinary life. But something extraordinary had changed. Zola no longer compared herself to Adana. Instead, she worked beside her. She planted. She cooked. She apologized to each family whose crops had been destroyed. Trust returned slowly. Seasons passed. One evening, as the sisters sat beneath a baobab tree, Zola spoke softly. "I thought your light made me small," she said. "But it was my shadow that made me blind." Adana smiled. "Light does not steal from light," she replied. "It multiplies." And in that village, long after diamonds were forgotten, the story remained. Not of wealth. Not of rats. But of a heart that nearly destroyed everything because it could not celebrate another's blessing. Moral of the story. Jealousy does not steal another person's fortune. It destroys your own. A grateful heart multiplies blessings. A jealous one multiplies curses. And sometimes, when envy grows too loud, it rains rats.